This trial will test how far your skill can take you. It will never end. It only gets more challenging.
This video is going to be a guide to proving grounds for DPS or probably more so Hunter, because you can see more what I'm doing. I'm going to try to explain what you want to do on certain waves, mainly on Endless, but you can honestly use what I'm saying if you're stuck on Silver or Gold, because it all really applies. They're all the same monsters. There's nothing new being thrown at you in Endless. You've seen it before. You've dealt with it if you are in Endless. That was the first wave, and it's honestly really straightforward. I don't think you should have any trouble with it. If you noticed, I finished with like half the time to spare. There's little guys in the middle that you can use if you're ranged to soak the globs coming at you. If you're melee, just avoid them really. Drag them into each other.
That spell isn't ready yet.
As usual. With the Mystics, you kind of have two options. Is either you focus them, get them down pretty much as soon as you start, or
Not ready yet.
you want to CC them and like leave them for last or whenever you really are ready to get to them.
That's still recharging.
I normally focus them down immediately, but it's really up to you. It shouldn't really make a difference. The main thing is you just have to be ready to silence them. If you don't silence them, you more than likely won't do enough damage to just kill them in one go, unless you get pretty lucky with crits. But as long as you silence them, they don't cast, I think, faster than the cooldown takes on
That's still recharging.
any person's, like any class's silence. It's maybe Priest, I know theirs is particularly long. Most other classes, I believe, are about a 24-second cooldown.
That's still recharging.
Which, yeah, they don't cast any faster than that, I don't think.
I can't cast That's still recharging.
This wave, obviously, you just AoE a lot. There were two of the monkeys that throw bananas at you that if you get hit, you're hit by it. It's not like you take any damage, it just reduces your hit chance by, I believe, 50%, which could make you lose. That's probably one of the waves I have the most trouble on, honestly. I think just because my AoE is not great. Some classes have a bit better AoE than others. This is another wave that would ever give me trouble, if any. You sometimes can get lucky where you can hit them, like multiples of them, if you just position yourself in the right spot, because maybe they'll all face a certain way or the same way, and that can be very beneficial and make it much easier on you. Sometimes you can get unlucky. You have to pay attention a lot and make sure you're like in a good spot. If you just saw the ghost that spawned, that's not the first one, but this is the first time I'm mentioning it. So like the ghoul ghost thing that spawned, the loud yell that happened. I do suggest having sound on if you're doing proving grounds, because I would say most of the time I've lost, maybe not most of the time, but a decent bit of times that I have lost have been to me not realizing those have spawned, and what they actually are they're basically ticking time bombs, and they are they spawn and you have, I think, like around 10 seconds to kill it before it just explodes. If it explodes, you don't die, you just lose. That's how it works. So it's basically just supposed to be something that it's like as if in a raid it was like an ad that spawned that you have to switch to immediately. That's just all it is. You just have to switch fast and you'll be fine. Um, the big guy I just killed spawns in the wave with a significant damage reduction. I believe it was 90%. But then once the damage reduction ends, which is at it's all at set intervals and set times, which is at
That's still recharging.
20 seconds remaining in the wave. Once the shield goes down, he not only takes damage again, or a reasonable amount of damage, he takes 300% damage.
Still recharging.
So you should, like, if you get to that wave, do not use your cooldowns in the beginning. You will just waste them.
Cast that yet.
Hold them, wait till the last 20 seconds, and then use them, and that's when you're gonna actually do the damage. And that's why you should wait.
That spell isn't ready yet.
If you blow them in the beginning, you might not be able to do the damage in the last 20 seconds. You might wind up failing,
I can't do that.
and that's no fun. That wave specifically, you notice I had to CC one, because in that wave, there's two mystics, which are the healers, and if I were to not CC either, one of them would be bound to get
Not ready yet.
their heal off, unless I wanted to Arcane Torrent it, but honestly I don't know if I have the damage to rely on that on both of them. I'd rather CC one, which I believe most classes can have something that they can use. Honestly, the only thing I can think of is Shadow Priest might be an issue. So yeah, the best option would be to CC one, focus the other, just make sure to silence it, and then maybe give your silence a little time to come off cooldown before you break out the other one. I've noticed, like, there's been times I've broken it out too fast, thinking I was good to go, and it wound up getting a heal off. Normally it will heal the vermin if you DPS them at all over itself, because you probably didn't damage it too much yet. But if you let it get a heal on itself, that can sometimes kill you. I've lost on waves before because it's healed itself to full just as the wave's about to end. It's not a fun time. This wave, you'll notice there was a lot of the banshees or time bombs, whatever you feel like calling them. If you're not careful and don't save moves to deal with them, then you might be in trouble. Also, one thing I'd like to note is you see the Enrage over there. That spawned in one of the past waves, but I leave them because I don't need them for the specific wave that they spawn on, and I would rather use them as a safety to make sure I can do the damage that may be required on wave 5 and 10. I think one of the Enrages spawns on wave 4, it could be 3, I'm not actually positive. And yeah, I just don't touch it, I just wait until wave 5 to use that one, and then that one just spawned on wave 7 or 8, and I do the same thing, I just save it until this next wave coming up on wave 10. Just primarily because I don't need it on the other waves. Sometimes I grab it if I'm really falling behind on a wave or something. Like say that wave, I don't know what happened, I was just doing poorly. I might run over and grab it. Same thing with a cooldown. I very, very much so would rather save rapid fire for this this wave specifically. But I mean, if it came down to it, you might as well use the cooldown if you're scared you're gonna lose or really think you're gonna lose, because if you don't use it and fail that wave, what good was it? Because then you didn't save it for anything exactly. Even if you use it, saved that wave, and then failed the 10th, you still got further. So So try to save cooldowns, but if you really think you need them, use them.
Not ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
That was wave 1 through 10. Hopefully now, like, I'm gonna try to explain better what my strategy is, but it's really hard when you only have 1 minute. You're still trying to explain what certain things do. If you haven't seen this before, wave 11 is now an exact repeat of wave 1, and you'll notice it's the same thing all the way through. You're just repeating the same waves over and over. The main difference, if you look at this buff, it says endless wave and it has 11 stacks. It will always, like every mob of each wave will always have that buff, and the amount of stacks will be determined by what wave it is. What the buff actually does is for each stack it increases their health by 1%. So wave 11, their health is 11% higher. That's what makes it actually difficult. When it's endless, it's not like you just get tired or anything and just get bored and eventually slip up and fail. It actually is getting increasingly difficult to do the damage required. Some waves, like this wave specifically, you can ignore the Amber Weavers where they make the globs and you drag it to a mob. That you don't need it for what you're doing. You can easily do the damage without it. But as you get higher in waves, that blob that is really going to help. If you see, it does increase their damage taken by 50%, as well as it stuns them. So like that's a huge benefit depending on what they are. Sometimes you drag them into the healers, like the Mystic that was in the back of the room, and use it on that. There aren't many times I use that, because it either requires waiting for the Mystic or something. There are some tricks, I think you can do it on this wave, no, not this wave, where maybe on one wave there's an Amber Weaver, and you save them to the last few seconds and let them get their final cast off, and then just as they finish the cast and just as the wave's about to end, you make sure to kill them so you don't lose the wave, obviously, but also so you get that blob to follow you around. And once you get the blob, maybe there will be a Mystic on the next wave or something, and you use it so you can kite it into them. It's like things like that will help you get the wave like probably like over 50s or something. Like that's when you really might start running into like needing that. Prior to that though, I don't really think it's too necessary. Like I rarely do it, and I'm up to wave right now. My highest wave is 36, I want to say. I don't remember exactly. I think it's 37 that I failed on. I think this is one of the waves that this is one of the waves that you could kite. I'll try to do it this wave so you can see kind of what I'm talking about. It can be difficult. I might have some trouble keeping him alive. I think this just spawned now, so if you'll notice, like, this is a wave, honestly, that I might use that enrage on, because most of the time I shouldn't need it for wave 15. Sometimes I might, like, I like saving it because honestly it just seems more stable to me. Like right now I'm not having too much issues with this. I don't think he's gonna cast it. Alright, so now you're gonna see I've got this glob and the Mystic's gonna spawn right here. So I can just kite it and it's gonna let me kill that pretty easily now. Some tricks like that might help you get higher. I don't think they're necessary to just do like wave 10, 20, or 30. But if you get higher than that, it'll definitely come in handy. It'll definitely make it easier for you, I would say. If you notice what I just did there
I
is
needed
this
time.
berserking buff only lasts for 30 seconds.
Bad deal.
So you might want to, like, you might think at first, like, oh, I should save it till 20 seconds because that's when his shield comes down and I can actually start DPSing him. Except it won't matter really because this has been relatively quick, as quick as it could be, I think. Uh, Proving Grounds guide or tips. Um, Fortunately, every wave takes a minute, so had to take some time. Um, I think I did as much explaining as I wanted to do. Um, Explained a decent bit of what each one does, and I know it was set like I was displaying it in endless, but it should still help you in gold or silver if you're struggling. Because, like I said, the mobs are all the same. There was no new mobs or anything. Uh, it should help you understand how you should be handling the different mobs, like using the globs from Amber Weavers and making sure to switch to the time bombs. Uh, that's it though. I hope the video helped and good luck getting gold and good luck getting your title.